And welcome to this week's edition of Waterford Report. Well, just in case you thought dancing was just for girls or not cool, then you're obviously not aware of the huge hip-hop phenomenon that has hit Waterford, and it really is massive. We will go down and meet some of the kids who have danced their little hearts out, and a few have even made it to national TV. If you're looking for something antique-y to do up your house, if you're fond of art or stained glass, then hurry up down to the Salvage shop in Waterford City because it is closing down shortly. But first, if you're fond of fancy cheeses or spicy sausages, then Waterford was the place to be on Friday with the Ardkeen Quality Food Store Artisan Wine and Food Fair.
So come on, get it on. I don't know what you're waiting for. Your time is coming, don't be late.
Colin, tell me a little bit about the food fair that's happening here today.
We have all kinds of artisan, local Irish food producers. Some of the leading craft producers in Ireland, really. Sally Barnes and Kramer's Grove Ice Cream and Jane Russell sausages and Pie Kitchen, resurrecting the reputation of pies and so on and so forth. We have plenty here. And all of them are small food producers doing their own thing with an amazing commitment to their craft and to the quality of their products. They're products that we've built up a relationship with these people at Ardkeen Quality Food Store over the last few years. These are people who usually go to farmers markets and small delis and sometimes have difficulty in breaking into bigger format retailers, so we're happy to have them with us. We also have plenty of wine suppliers. Again, they're smaller producers from France, Italy, Spain, some from the New World as well. Again, these are smaller producers with smaller brands that are not normally seen in the larger supermarkets. So all in all, it's going to be a very interesting array of food and wine to sample.
Do you find that a lot of people making food here in Ireland have difficulty in competing in the global market with huge superstores open everywhere?
What's happened in Ireland over the last 10 years or so has been very interesting from the point of view of small producers. Up to then, I think food brands were dominated by the big guys, but bit by bit, I think people are starting to understand and realise that that isn't always the best way to go, and these smaller producers with a great deal of passion and commitment for the quality of their product, even on a small scale, maybe particularly because it's on a small scale, means that we end up with a better quality product, maybe a healthier product, and the variety is very good for everybody, I think. Anybody who's interested in food for whatever reason should be here today meeting people involved in food production and of course tasting, you know. But we certainly do find that people who anywhere in Ireland who have a good product to sell like to come to us because they've heard that we're a good place to test product, especially if they have the quality behind them. And we're always interested in talking to them, especially if they're local in terms of regional especially. But as long as their commitment is to the quality of their product, then we're certainly interested in stocking theirs.
Now, Jane, you make handmade sausages, and sausages obviously a big Irish food and appeals to so many people. What's different about what you do?
Well, we make our sausages, I suppose, it's the real old-fashioned way of making sausages. They're handmade, they're very high meat, they're much lower in fat, lower in salt. We buy all our pork from a single producer in Tipperary, so we know exactly the quality of what we're getting. We always use fresh meat. We use natural casings and natural seasonings, and then we don't kind of add all the E numbers and all the other rubbish that you can come across in sausages.
Do you think people are becoming more aware of the importance of good quality food, especially in the likes of sausages?
I think so. I mean, people are very much aware now of what the meat content of a good sausage should be, that you should be looking for something with at least 70% meat. They're aware that sausages are generally kind of an offender on the fat content, and so they're looking for a sausage that has a lower fat. And I think that mothers as well are very, very anxious that their children are eating products that aren't kind of cocktails of E numbers and all kinds of additives. But one of the funny things I find is that a lot of our customers are actually older people who remember how, you know, handmade food used to taste before food became so, you know, mass-produced.
Now, you're obviously doing something right because you've won numerous Bridgestone Awards. Tell me about that.
Well, we're going 3 years, and in our very first year we won a Bridgestone Award, and we also won a gold medal at the Great Taste Awards for our Toulouse sausages in our first year. We've won the Bridgestone Award for each successive year since, and then this year we won 2 more gold medals at the Great Taste Awards for our jalapeno hot sausages, something a little bit different, and pork with steak and Guinness.
And of course, the food fair here today is in aid of people in need.
We're delighted to be associated with Ardkeen Store's efforts to raise funds for the People in Need Fund.
Well, if you're doing up your home and you're looking for something a little different, or you just fond of pottering around on a free afternoon, then hurry on down to the Salvage shop in Johns Park because it is closing soon. And Sean and Jim Corcoran told me about the love and care they've put into their shop over the past few years.
I'm an ordinary man, nothing special, nothing grand. I've had to work for everything I own. Oh well, I never asked for a lot, I was happy with what I got. Enough to keep my family and my home. Now they say the times are hard, and they've handed me my cards. They say there's not the work to go around. Oh, when the whistle blows, the gates will finally close. Tonight they're going to shut this factory down.
Jim, yourself and Sean run this shop together. Tell me a little bit about its history.
We've been selling for 15, 16 years now with the shop. We were on the Dunmore Road first, and we moved in here about 10 years ago. And it's been a long, long battle, but fabulous, lovely, lovely. Every day is different. So we've come to the end of it now. I'm going to retire, and Sean is going to do some art, and we've got a big task ahead of us now to dispose of all this, the asset, on 3 acres. We sold the land, and we now need to sell the stock. We thought we'd be able to sell it on, but we had no buyers, unfortunately. And a lot of people are saying, you know, what are we going to do without you? I just had someone in from one of the theatre companies now that are doing a production of Colin's, and she's in to get her the whole prop. So she had a great big list there. She could, you know, this will be one of the last shows that we'll give them the set for nothing, you know.
So you've basically a mixed bag of everything in the shop. How did you start selling? Did you have a collection of antiques yourself that you had inherited, or how did this whole thing start up?
Well, we started on the Dunmore Road, but I was out of work, as I've been a lot of times, and I spoke to Eamon Griffin. Eamon's of Intacta Print, and he has an old cottage to do up, and he had some lovely quarry tiles, and you know, asked him where they were bought, and he said it was the Burns in Tulla. They were a salvage shop. So I went up to the guy in Tulla and drove in. I was amazed. Ladden's Cave, as we have now ourselves. So I bought some bricks from Burns Salvage, and he said, what do you want the samples for? So I said, you know, you need a rep. I'm your man. And we lasted maybe 4 weeks, sold a lot of stuff from him, and he said, you know, I was making too much money. So I said, fine. And we started ourselves. Sean and I. Sean was doing stained glass down in Gladstone Street, was it?
Gladstone Street, above what was Steinberg fireplaces, and at the time when Dad got the idea of the reclaimed materials, I was making stained glass in the top floor of a 4-storey building down Gladstone Street, as I say, and we used to carry up the samples and the bricks and the slates and the bits of beams and everything, and we counted the steps. It was 52 steps up and 52 steps down, so that's kind of where we started from, hauling the stuff up and down those steps. And we had a Toyota Corolla car and a bit of an old rough trailer, and that's what we had between us. And from then we kind of moved on as Dad was saying, to Dunmore Road, and that was great fun because we didn't have 2 bob to rub together out there, and we had to borrow some glass from Dad's brother George to glaze the building, and I don't think we ever gave him that glass back.
No.
But you know, those days were great fun. It was really a wild time, and the best of fun. And the shop has developed over the years to what it is now. I mean, you can see from looking around. I mean, really, what we'd specialise in would be what we have specialised in is kind of doors and floors and the high end of the market in terms of houses and kitting out restaurants and bars. So, but as Dad has kind of said, it's come to its end. We've had enough, and it's time to move on.
You know, you've got a lot of unusual artefacts in here, different antiques. I see an old cash register over there, that kind of thing. Do people bring in these things, or how do you get your hands on them? Do people come in and say, look, I had this in my house, I don't want it anymore, sell it to you and you sell it off? Is that how it works?
Yeah, just the cash register now. The guy in Tremor said he had it and he refurbished it. Now I said I wouldn't buy it, but I'll put it on sale for you. That's the way it happens quite a bit. We buy some, you know, majority of the stuff we buy, but if not, we'll put it in on sale or return. And if a pub comes along, then we'll probably sell it for 'em. We can sell most things, but we don't go out, we have no transport to go out, we don't deliver. People come to us all the time. And over the years, we've dealt with quite a lot of people, and you know, they keep coming back. And a lot of builders and pubs. We've done lots of work abroad for Bob Tweedy and different people, Switzerland, Germany, and yeah, that's been it.
You've got some amazing artwork as well here. Do you commission painters to do work for you, or do they come in with their stuff, or how does that work?
Yeah. One of the reasons why I'm happy to see that the Salvage shop is actually coming to an end is because of the fact that I am actually an artist myself, and there's been a lot of restrictions on me artistically. Although there's been benefits of the Salvage shop as well. We've had some fantastic exhibitions here. My wife Miranda is also an artist. John O'Connell has had a fantastic show here. We've had many great exhibitions down through the years here. We're well known for being a good patron of the art and a colleague to the arts in Waterford. Jim Nolan obviously wrote used the title The Salvage Shop for his play, and kind of used us as a prototype for setting his play, The Salvage Shop. So we really, from an art perspective, my wife and I intend to follow that on. We're hoping to build an art centre to take the art end of what the Salvage Shop has been doing down through the years to another level. So like we have a larger network as well of kind of up to 50 or 60 artists, including steel sculptures, timber sculptures, painters, ceramic artists and so on, that we'd hope to bring under our umbrella as well.
Okay, now in terms of closing down, how long are you going to wind down things? Are you going to wait a couple of weeks to let people come in for the closing down sale rush, or how are you going to do it?
Well, with the 3 acres here, we have a vast amount of stuff built up over the years, and we expect it'll take us maybe a couple of months to get it out. Now we've reduced prices drastically to see, you know, can we get the benefit from it. And it could be late December, early January. Hopefully we'll be able to close for then.
Very good. Now I understand that there's a special performance of Carousel for Christmas that you're involved with.
Well, the Carousel now is in John Roberts Square. Okay. For years now I've loved carousels for the music, and this particular one now, Sean and David Deegan, they located it and saw it in different places, and I've been on to the owners. They're just back from China with it. They're playing in York now in England, and he came over and I looked at John Roberts Square, and it's 50 foot in diameter, and it's an old antique thing now. It's going to be fabulous for kids, and you know, lots of people have lots of money at Christmas, but lots of people don't have lots of money, and this will probably give them a little bit extra in the shopping around the area. It should bring something new to the city, I think. So if I'll be involved in it, setting it up and what have you. The Liam Rellis have spoken to a lot of the traders in the corporation. I think we're all set to go, and we have a starting date in around the 20th of November. So it should run into the new year, 6 weeks I think, and it should be good for the city. You know, hopefully they might come back then with tall ships if it's a success. You know, but it's beautiful, lovely unit.
Okay, and in the meantime then, in the next couple of weeks, you're hoping that homeowners or anyone who's interested in antiques can come in and have a potter around here?
Like, people have been treating it like a trip down memory lane. There's been a lot of upset people come in and kind of saying, God, what are we going to do now? The salvage shop is going to be gone. We can't believe it. You're closing down. Where are you moving to? We're not moving anywhere. We're trying to be upbeat about it. It's an emotional time for the two of us, but I, for one, I'm happy that, you know, it's gone to a good home, and we're happy to be moving on from here.
Coming up after the break, well, the days of dancing being confined to little girls and meaning just Irish dancing and ballet are well gone in Ireland, and in Waterford a huge phenomenon has started up, and that's hip hop and break dancing, and at the moment it's exploded onto the national scene, and we'll go down and meet the kids who are involved. Welcome back. Well, once upon a time, hip-hop was something you associated with movies about New York, but not anymore. These kids in Waterford City are practicing their little hearts out every day of the week, and it's paid off. Let's go and meet the kids who have now exploded onto the national scene with their skills. Okay, Deirdre, so you're running this school up here in Tyker. How did you get involved in all this?
I was due to come here and teach in the Braam School of Dance, jazz and tap, and they did have a street funk kind of dance class, but the style that they were doing, they named it hip hop, but it wasn't. It was not hip hop, and it kind of made my stomach turn to think that this is what people thought in Ireland that hip hop was. I've been over and back to New York since I was 9 years old, and kind of when the hip hop culture started off, I was there in the 80s in New York in the summertime with my sister and B-boys and B-girls. So I just felt like it's time that Waterford saw real hip hop. You know, they didn't know what baby freezes were or CCs or six steps or anything like that, which are basic steps that B-girls or B-boys would perform when they're in the battle, in the ring.
Okay, so you're running the school here. How many kids have you and what kind of lessons do you do here?
Well, in our competition classes are the serious classes we just run. We were in the All-Irelands in Trabalgan. We took 80 children to Trabalgan from Friday till Monday with some lovely supervisors, I have to say thank you to them, who helped to supervise the children. We took 80 there. They would be in our competition classes, very serious. I mean, it's like a local soccer team. It's like if you're training for the GAA, if your matches, you need to be at training, you need to be there, you need to be with your team, you need to support your team. It's as simple as that. And then we have fun classes, which break down hip hop and just make it more a confidence class and more a confidence building, and to be just strong in yourself and be aware of yourself. That's the fun class. We also have B-girl and B-boy classes, which is the breakdancing, and that's not for the faint at heart. Those of you that don't like getting on your head, I wouldn't think it's good.
Is it a good mix of boys and girls?
That's what's fabulous. What's absolutely fabulous is I was also on a tiny little mission in the back of my head that I want boys. We need boys in the dance community, in the dance world, because it's annoyed me all my life that some of the things I've wanted to do, like reach a height in a certain jump, I couldn't do it. But the men, easy. They're just off. It doesn't require as much effort or much work because their bodies are physically better, physically stronger to manage these things. So then Toby came along, who is the king of breakbeat. I met his dad in the taxi and he said, my son dances. I said, bring him up. If he's good, we'll take him in. And he was fantastic. Toby came along, and it was really Toby's entrance into the school that influenced the influx of boys in, because they saw how well he danced, and it wasn't a sissy thing anymore. It was a strength thing. It was, oh my goodness, how can you do that? So I want to learn, I want to learn, I want to learn. And we started off with 2 boys, 1 boy, then 3, and now we have about 50 boys in total. So it's fantastic.
Okay, Toby, you teach dance to the kids up here. I, for one, haven't got a clue about hip-hop or breakdancing, but can you explain to me how you would teach somebody who has never done this before some moves?
It's because they like it, that's why they come here, you know. If they didn't have passion for it or like it, they won't be here. So I give them gratitude for that. And one thing, like a dancer have to lose all the shyness, you know, and then after they lose that, they become comfortable in what they're doing. So that really helps as well. That really motivates them. And I give them a move, like any move, and then they go home and practice it and come back to me, and they become better at it. And sometimes they might have a move to show me as well, you know, because I'm still learning myself, you know. And in fact, I won't call it like I'm the teacher. So I'm more of a, how can I put it, of a guy that just tell them what to do, you know. And then when they come back, when they do this, they show me as well what to do. So we kind of learning off each other in a way.
Can anybody learn to do this, or do you have to have a natural knack of being coordinated and a little bit skillful?
That's what a lot of people think, especially the boys. The boys think, nah, it's for the girls. But for me, anybody can dance. Just like anybody can stand up and walk. As long as you can walk, you know, and able to enjoy yourself, I think you can dance. And like I once read, like dancing is a silent poetry. So once anybody can get that into their head, they can do it. They can dance away.
And congratulations on how well you're doing and entering so many competitions and getting on TV and everything. It's fantastic. Were you nervous doing this?
I wasn't really nervous. I was really excited. Like, it was a big step for me. I was absolutely delighted, but it's just waiting to go onto the stage. That was the only bit nervous. On the stage, just more adrenaline just kind of took over. Plus, I had all the lads with me, so it made it easier.
What would you say to anybody who wants to do some extracurricular activity and is maybe thinking, would I like dancing, or, you know, is it something for me? Can anyone do this?
Yeah, anyone could do this as long as they are confident in themselves. Like, that's like anything. Anything's possible if you just believe you can do it. So, if they're willing to do it, like, I suppose they can do it.
Do many of your mates do it with you?
Oh, anyone? Well, mostly the people that I hang around with, they do it. So yeah. They're all interested in that anyway.
We are now organising a thing called Urban Blowout, which is going to be a fundraiser for Breakbeat, because a lot of the children that come to me wouldn't be able to afford to do these things unless we didn't fundraise in order to help. Like buses, staying overnight, competing all the time, uniforms, you have to look good. So we have organised our own battle, and it's going to be like the movie You Got Served and all of those hip-hop movies where two crews come up against each other, not knowing what the music is. One crew will go in, battle it out, 5 of them come back, and then the other crew will come in. And the crowd will decide who wins it, along with our judges, who are Be-By Misty, and we are hoping to get Jane Shortall, who's one of the major influences in hip-hop dancing at the moment in Dublin. So we're hoping to get her as one of the judges, and we have a few other judges lined up in the background if we don't get Jane. So
it's a dance-off, essentially.
It's a big dance-off, and we've got crews coming from Belfast, from Limerick, from Dublin, from Kildare, and they're all going to come down and battle it out. And it's everybody from Waterford are open too. It's a fundraiser. It's only €10 in. It's no alcohol, just dancing, and for any ages from 12 upwards. It's mothers can come in and do their thing on the floor if they wish. That's what it's about, you know. It's a coming together, sharing dance, and there'll be prize money, and hopefully we hope to plan a number of these throughout the year so that we can keep raising our money to help support the children that need the support, and also teach people about real hip-hop and the real culture of hip-hop, which is respect.
And that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in to Waterford Report, and see you next time. Remember, if you have any stories you'd like to pass on to us, you can log on to www.city.ie.